quarter comes to a close. And they've done a phenomenal job down low, so many of their points coming right at the rim. We'll return shortly.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
It is a good game we have here after one half of play. Welcome, everybody, to the Halftime Show. I'm Ernie Johnson. The guy nodding over here is Kenny the Jet Smith. And the guy that's doing that is Shaquille O'Neal. And guys, for the Pistons, Kenny, what's your take?
Really great rebounding effort, Ernie, so far. They're putting up some nice numbers in that category. That's the big difference in the first half.
And now, Shaq, let's get your opinion on Oklahoma City.
They played some solid team basketball, Ernie. Pretty good. They were sharing the ball. We saw some nice feeds, a lot of movement. It wasn't 5 individuals out there. It was one cohesive unit, and they got the assist to show for it. Their rhythm was nice.
And that will wrap up our halftime report, as it's just about time for the start of the second half.
Wingspan, big hands, really paying dividends.
It's still anybody's game as we've reached the end of 3. It's the Thunder as they wrap up the third quarter with a big 11-3 run. And do not go away, as we'll be back in just a few moments with the start of our fourth quarter coming up next. And now we've got a moment for our Jordan Player of the Game, Paul George.
And he's up over 50% from the field here tonight. And that speaks to how solid his shot selection has been. Nothing forced and really no bad decisions. Just good, smart, offensive basketball.
From Little Caesars Arena, you're watching 2K Sports. Joining us, that'll do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, and the rest of our terrific crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. And we'll see you next time.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
The first half in the books. This is Ernie Johnson. This is Shaquille O'Neal. This is Ken Smith. Welcome back.
Ken?
Ken, as we break down the action. Darren Collison is having one of those nights. He ended up with 15 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 steal. His last game out, he was just not himself. But tonight, he has rounded right back into form with a very solid first half. And Kenny, what'd you think about what we saw from Indiana?
Well, they made a concerted effort to get out on the fast break. Dunks, alley-oops, run the lanes at every opportunity, and it's wearing the defense down.
Shaq, what'd you think about Orlando?
Well, if you can't shoot the ball, you might want to stop chucking it up. They keep trying the 3, but it's not going down. They're relying too much on the 3 ball, way too much. It's good when it's falling for you, but when it's not, you have to try something else.
And that will wrap up our halftime report, as it's just about time for the start of the second half.
Miles Turner making things happen for Indiana. His performance that quarter has earned him a double-double. Seems like he's been everywhere in this game. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute.
Figure out how to slow his roll.
And now we get the chance to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Nikola Vucevic.
And the decision-making tonight has just been outstanding. If the shot hasn't been there for him, he's just kept the ball moving. And that patience is how he's gotten his field goal percentage to almost 60 here tonight.
That'll do it, folks. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. So long. Far. Wizards out front. They lead by a bucket. The second quarter coming up right after this break, so don't go anywhere.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
The first half in the books. This is Ernie Johnson. This is Shaquille O'Neal. This is Ken Smith. Welcome back.
Ken,
as we break down the action. Bradley Beal putting in some incredible work. He had 12 points and 1 assist. And taking a look at the Wizards, Shaq, what'd you think?
Well, Kenny should appreciate this. I love the ball movement. They were in sync as a unit, and their assist numbers were impressive. Anytime you get 5 players working together like that instead of one guy doing it alone, it's always going to be a boost. That's the primary reason they're in control of the game.
Talk to me, Kenny. How did you think Atlanta played?
their defensive fundamentals have been atrocious. I mean, you see guys reaching instead of moving their feet. They're not getting out the shooters. They've dug themselves a hole, and the only way to get out of it is all 5 guys start defending the way they should.
That's it for now, as the second half's just about ready to go.
It's the Wizards running away with it. And coming up as soon as we return from break, the fourth quarter gets underway. We get the chance to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Dwight Howard.
And he's put on a terrific show of skill in the paint. A combination of moves, footwork, and that soft touch down low. It's all added up to one dominant performance for the big fella.
On the road, in a tough atmosphere, he's taken on the role of star tonight. If one of their other players came up short, he picked up the slack to make sure they'll be walking out of here. David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and Chris Webber. This is Kevin Harlan, thanking you for watching the NBA on 2K Sports. So long. By 6. After this break, we'll be back with the start of the second quarter on 2K Sports.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
We so hope you enjoyed our first half. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. This is the halftime report. After the first 2 quarters of play, it's Charlotte in control. They have a nice 7-point lead. And big fella, your thoughts on the Hornets?
You got to like their offense efficiency. They were patient, took good shots. That was reflected in their high field goal percentage. They just need to keep playing smart in the second half and close this thing out. Don't get cute now.
And Kenny, what are your thoughts on Miami?
They're not getting to the line or putting enough pressure on the defense. They have to be much more aggressive pushing the basketball, going hard to the rack. Because if you want the refs to make a call, put them in the position to make a judgment call. If you're not creating opportunities for contact, you have no chance of picking up points at the line.
And now, folks, just moments away from the start of the third quarter.
Lead heading into the break. They've been putting on a clinic in the paint. Shots are falling with regularity, and they are pounding it down low. Back right after this. You think the league should devise a different way to choose the players for that big mid-season event?
I'd really like, again, this is an area, Kevin, that the league has done a great job of being a bit progressive with the way they've changed the all-star balloting. 50% of the vote now going to the fans, 25% to the players, and 25% to the media. It's a way to make sure that guys who are having tremendous seasons are recognized both by their peers and their media rather than the fans getting ahead of some marketing scheme. So this has been addressed.
Perfect. This is Kevin Harlan. Thank you for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. We'll see you later. His work on the glass was outstanding in that quarter. Great rebounding. Right back after this break.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We're going to break down all the action from the first half. The first half was all about Stephen Curry. He had 18 points, 2 assists, and 1 rebound. The first 2 quarters tonight looked a lot like what we saw from him in his last game. Hey, big fella, what's your take on Golden State so far?
The speed they're playing with has been fantastic. They're pushing the ball in transition and catching the defense. That's snapping, Ernie. Anyway, a huge chunk of their offense has come on the break. They've got a nice lead, but they shouldn't slow anything down. I say keep doing what you do.
And over to Kenny. What did you think about Boston?
Their inaccuracy from behind the arc was brutal. Shot selection, I didn't see any. The perimeter offense they're running, you could scrap that. They need to get back to the basics. Pound it inside, more pick and roll. Try to pick up some easy buckets in transition.
And that wraps up halftime as the game is set to get back underway. Let's send it to Kevin Harlan and crew, standing by courtside.
Quarter comes to a close. Warriors ahead. They're up by 4. And when we return, we'll get the fourth quarter rolling right here on 2K Sports. For Steve Smith, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan, thanking you for being with us. We'll see you next time. By 3. And the second quarter will be on the way when we come back.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome, everybody. So far, a pretty one-sided first half. Ernie Johnson with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. The first quarter for the Mavericks was fairly even. At the end of the period, they held a 3-point lead. They just exploded in the second quarter, grabbing the momentum and running with it. Basket after basket, and they played stingy defense. Now they've got a halftime lead that's going to be very difficult to erase. And Kenny, what are your thoughts on how Dallas played?
Their ability to get into the paint and get to the rim has been deadly, constantly attacking the basket. It was clearly their intention right from the start to pound it inside as much as possible. And I don't see them straying from that strategy in the second half. It's going to be another paint-based attack.
And you, big fella, let's get your thoughts on the Nuggets.
Well, their sloppy play really surprised me, especially the turnovers. No matter who they had out there, they never seemed to be on the same page. Their only hope is to make every possession count, and that means taking care of the ball.
And that wraps up halftime as the game is set to get back underway. Let's send it to Kevin Harlan and crew, standing by courtside.
Size and shooting touch, he creates so many openings for himself and his teammates offensively.
A chance now to recognize our Jordan Player of the Game, Dirk Nowitzki.
And the D tried to get physical with him down low tonight, and it really backfired. Instead, he's just torn them up. He was aggressive, inviting the contact, and really just taking it straight to him.
And maybe him having a game like this will get things turned around for him, because almost nothing has been going. Joining us, that'll do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.
Down, but you're right. They're happy with that shot.
And so it's Brooklyn with a 10-point lead, some breathing room heading into the break. They're pounding the ball inside, and that's where they've gotten their best production tonight. And
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. It's Brooklyn out in front at the half. They lead by 1 point. Kenny?
Well, one place they had the edge was on the offensive boards. They converted those extra possessions into points. Nothing is more demoralizing to a defense than forcing a miss and then giving up a second attempt. The offensive glass is going to pay big dividends for them.
Shaq, what you think about Minnesota?
Well, they're getting beat up on the boards, Ernie. Woo. Smack them around, smack them around. And you know the coach is unhappy about it, because I'm unhappy about it, Ernie. I'm sure he's in the locker room right now saying, hey, we can bounce back in the second half. You need to dig deep, show some pride.
And we're just about ready for the start of the third quarter. Kevin Harlan standing by. We'll see you.
as we get ready to take a break. Looking good at this point, but wanting more. Right back after this break. We'll wrap it up, folks. For David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for being with us. So long.